Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a fascinating puzzle today with orange and blue thermos, which have slightly different meanings. Well, equivalent but slightly different. We will look at this puzzle in a moment. It's been very popular on Logic Masters Germany, and it's an intriguing idea. First of all, don't forget that on Patreon you can try our hunt, the Sudoku hunt for the month, which is the CTC clone pack by Skajojobo. And also, of course, there's other stuff on Patreon. So my monthly crossword will be coming out soon, although, in fact, it may be out by now by the time you see this video. I'm not absolutely sure. But do check out Patreon, there's always good stuff. And also, of course, our merch and Sven's SUDOKU PAD are on the links under the video, along with all of our apps, which do include Thermo Sudoku, although the thermos are all grey in those, never blue or orange. And I will explain what those are about in this puzzle, which is the first link under the video. Now, so the rules are as follows. Oh, the puzzle, by the way, is called Doctor, My Fever Might Be Odd, and it's by physicist from Funen, so I think we have a Dane on our hands, possibly living in Odense. Right, normal Sudoku rules apply. That's 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box, which is going to be interesting for the corner boxes. On a blue thermometer, along a blue thermometer, the even digits strictly increase from the bulb end, and likewise for odd digits on an orange thermometer. Digits of the unrestricted parity, that's orange for a blue thermometer or blue for an orange one, can occur anywhere and in any order on a thermometer, as long as the thermometer is strictly dominated by digits of the restricted parity. For example, a 4-cell orange thermometer, there is one, must have at least 3 odd digits. Oh, so there has to be a preponderance of odd digits on an orange thermometer, even digits on an even one. Oh, okay, I had not seen that when I put the puzzle up. So that is a constraint on these rules, which actually is a bit of a relief, because I was a bit nervous about what on earth the rules could achieve. Anyway, it's still a very strange idea, and I have no idea how this is going to play out. You can check the video length. I think it was 2 stars on Logic Masters Germany, so I'm hoping it's one of my shorter ones, but I may just get completely confused in the process. Let's give it a try and say, let's get cracking. So, Doctor, My Fever Might Be Odd is quite an amusing title. Now, all of these corner boxes, and I did notice this when I was loading it in, have a 6-cell orange thermo and a 6-cell blue thermo running around the perimeters and starting from the same cell in each case. Now, what does that mean to us with this rule set? Okay, well, it didn't mean a lot until that rule about... yes, okay, until that rule about thermometers being dominated by digits of the restricted parity. Now that is really important for the blue cells. On a 6-cell blue thermo, all of the 4 even digits have to appear on it, because it has to be at least a 4-2 domination. And if you're having 4 even digits that all have to be different in these corner boxes, they must include all the 4 even digits. 2, 4, 6 and 8 are always on the blue thermos in these corner boxes, and therefore cells that are not on the blue thermo must be odd. And that almost doesn't give us enough cells on the orange thermo. Oh no, it does, it's fine. There must be 4 orange cells at least, and indeed now at most, on the orange thermos. I say at most because each of those boxes now has an orange digit on neither thermo. An odd digit. Sorry, I'm like the puzzle, I'm using orange for odd and blue for even, and I imagine that's why the constructors use those colours, because we do traditionally use those colours on Cracking the Cryptic, which just goes to show you the pervasion of our influence everywhere. Anyway, which is still very surprising. Now, what has that told me? Very little, actually. I tell you what I could do if I was so minded, if I was a mad, keen person who used pencil marks, someone such as Simon might nickname Pencil Mark, I would say that 2 has to be on one of the first 3 cells of each of those 6-cell blue thermos, and that 4 is in one of the next group of 3 cells along, because they must increase. They obey thermo rules. 6 is in one of the next 3. Oh look, 6 is always forming a vertical or horizontal strip there. And then 8 is in one of the last 3 cells. And I think that's worth pencil marking. Now, just to remind you how we do the pencil marks. When I put a corner mark in a box, that shows the cells within the box where that digit can possibly be. If I use a center mark in a cell, I'll be trying to mark up all the candidates for that cell. And what has this taught us? Okay, it's taught me something interesting, which is that 2 is in one of those cells and one of those cells, and must now therefore be in one of those cells in row 2. It's certainly not there on the blue thermo. Oh, 2-cell blue thermo, both those cells have to be blue. That's what the domination rule means. Oh, that's so obvious now. 2-cell orange thermo must have 2 orange cells on it, otherwise it would be either a mix or be dominated by blue, and that's no good. So does that tell me anything? Oh yeah, okay, this digit is now 4 or 6, and that is 6 or 8. Oh, and if it's 4, that will place 4, 6 and 8 in box 1. Oh, 2 is in one of those cells, so that's not a 2 in row 3, column 3. Now this can't be a 4, this can't be a 6, and this can't be an 8. Now 8 is confined to one of those cells, which actually doesn't help. Also 4 is in one of those 2. And this is orange, because if it can't be 2, it can't be a higher digit on the blue thermo. So on this, yeah, these are all odd. So this is 1, 3 or 5. We must be ascending. We can't get up to 9 because we're going to have 4 odd cells on this orange thermo to dominate. So we can't get to 9 yet. So I can actually wipe out 7 there and 5 there. Now 2 was in one of those cells, so that's not a 2. Can I do the same sort of thing here? No, actually I can't. That doesn't change anything about where 4 can be. How odd. Oh, I'll tell you what we have got. 4 is in one of those cells and one of those cells. That's a virtual X-wing. That's going to use up the 2 4s in rows 8 and 9. So the 4 in row 7 is on one of these cells, which is quite unsurprising. In fact, this 4-cell blue thermo, the only one in the puzzle, must have 3 even digits on it at least. Oh look, we got 5 oranges in row 8. 5 is a good number of oranges to have marked, because it means the others are all definitely blue. Right, that has to be 8 on the end of its blue thermo, which must contain all the even digits. That now can't be 8, which doesn't affect the other bits and bobs. Now this is 2 or 4, because 3 even digits must appear on this thermo in ascending order. And 8 is in one of those cells, so 8 is not on this thermo because it would have to be in those cells. So the 3 ascending digits are 2, 4 and 6. 6 is in one of those. Now 6 can't be there. So this can't be 4 because 6 couldn't appear after it. So that is now a 6, and that's 4 in the row. And that must be a 2 to get onto this blue thermo. This is a very clever puzzle. This is really interesting how this works. Now 6 is obviously not here because we've placed it here. That can't be 2 anymore because we have to ascend through 2 and 4. Now the 8 in row 9 is in one of those cells and is a blue cell not on the lines. That's fine. Now these orange cells, right, that is 1 or 3. There are 4 orange digits on this line. So 5, oh no, so they, oh no, I was going to say it must be 1 then 3. Now I don't know that. I don't know what they are. Okay, bother. Here, that could still be even. Right, can I use this? Can I use the 2 and 4 looking up the grid? Absolutely not. I can use the 8 looking up the grid to there. That's now where 8 goes. And obviously I can colour it blue. I might as well keep the colouring going. I think it's going to matter a lot. Now, 8 is in one of these cells in column 3. And let's think about this 6-cell blue thermo. Right, it's a 6-cell blue thermo. It's dominated by even digits. It must have 4 even digits on. It can't have any repeats. So it does have 2, 4, 6 and 8 on. And this can't be 8 because it doesn't appear far enough along the thermo. It would have to be in at least the 4th cell. But it can't be in that cell or that cell. It must be there. So we get to fill in the 8 in a strange, in a sort of use of logic that we have not used in this puzzle before, in my opinion. Now, this could only be 6 if it was even. Is that interesting? It's probably not. I don't think that 8's actually adding anything to us. That's really weird. Oh, that 2 has sorted out 2 in box 2. It's there. And one of these is a 2. Now, yes, 2 has to be on this line. The earliest it could have been by thermo rules alone is there, but there's a number blocking it, so it's got to be here. So that's 2 on the line. Then 4 is going to be in one of these 2 cells. Sudoku rules it out of this one from there. 6 is in one of those 3, which is not monumental. That 2's quite interesting in a way, because it either means that 2 is the only even digit on this 4-cell line, or that that's a 2 which is going to fix 2 down here, and that would also fix 4. That would be quite helpful too, but I don't know. This has to have 4 odd digits on. And this has to have 3. Right, and those 3 are the last 3 odd digits in this box. So these are all even. And this one is 4 or 8. This one is 4, 6 or 8. This one seems likely to be the 2 to me, but it could be anything. Ah, they can't have a 4 in because we said 4 on this line, oops, is in one of those 3 cells. So we can actually fill those in as 8 and 6. And that places 6 on this blue line, not in those cells, but down where I put it here in row 5, column 2. 4 is now going to be in one of those. That's odd because all the even digits have been used. This is now 2 or 4. 8 and 6, yes, 8 places 8 down here, and that makes this one odd. I've got 4 odds in the column, 4 in the box, 4 in the row as well, but it doesn't let me finish any of those 5 odds is off. That can't be 8 anymore, so 8 is in one of those 2 cells. That can't be 6, that can't be 4, that can't be 2. And that doesn't actually do anything, does it? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I thought I was going to be able to say 4's in one of these. I can't. 6 and 8 are definitely in those cells. This is odd. That's something it does. Right, so this doesn't have to be the first odd on it, on its line. Oh, and it could be 5. No, bother. There are at least 4 odds on this line, so I can't actually do better with the odd pencil marking than 3 candidates in each cell. That's a bit of a surprise at this point. 6 and 8 have to be in these cells by Sudoku. That's quite interesting. If that was even, oh no, it's not that telling about this line. This sees 2, 4 and 8 in the column, 6 in the box. So that's odd. Now on this line, we've got at least 4 odds. It can't be above 5 therefore, because there's at least 2 to come. So that is 1, 3 or 5. And look, that's a 1, 3, 5 triple in the row. So we get 7 up there. And this is the 9. This is the 5th odd in the column. So that's even. I should have just done that count. And that's a 6. These two are not 6 and indeed are both odd. They're so not 6. So does that 9 help us? No, I think not. 9 is in one of those cells, but it can only be on the end of a thermo that it appears on. So it's in one of those two. I feel like it's almost certain to be there and there, but almost certain it's not what we're working off in the channel, as you know. Now, 8, we know 8's in one of those cells. We also have 6 in one of those two. Have these two had any resolution yet? Not quite. These can't both be even. One of them is going to be an odd digit surrounded by even and even. In fact, both of them might be. No, they both might be odd, surrounded by a 6-8 pair there and a 4-6 pair here. That's strange. At least one of those is odd. It's not powerful, is it? Now, I'm not going to pencil mark this little odd thermo. And I can't rule out 9 from one of these cells, which is a shame. Oh, what can I do next? 4 has to be in one of those two. And it's there. That means in this box, 4 is in one of those two. Now the corner mark I did here was just for the row. And I shouldn't really do that, mark across boxes, because I specifically told you at the start of the video how I do corner marking, and then I slightly disobeyed it for that one. I've now marked 4 as in one of those two cells for this box. So this 4 is kind of doing double duty in the row and the column, and I'm just trying to remember why I've marked it as such. Now, that's 3 odds, and we got up to 7. So one of these is a 9, the 4th odd on the thermo, and one of them is even. Now, if I mark those like that, and one of them is 6, so that is now a 6-9 pair, bingo. That's so strange, and that lets me mark 4 and 2. Yes, it's just because we had to get 9 onto that thermo after that 7. Right, lovely. I think that's going to be very helpful, actually. I might be wrong, but that 4 and 2 looks at that cell, makes it a 6. This becomes an 8. This now can't be 8, and we've placed 8 on this thermo there, and that's the last even in its row. So those are odd. 6, I don't know, I've got an X-wing. 4 is in one of those two cells, and that gives us 4 in row 2, and also tells us that all of those are odd. Either 3 of these are even or just 2. If that was a 6, yeah, that's fine. Okay. This 4 says that's not a 4. That's big as well. That means this is a 4 with a 6 following it, and we can colour those. This is now not 6, and this is not 6 or 8, according to the Sudoku. So this is 6, and this is 8, and that's a blue cell on an orange line, which really limits the others. Although this could still be 4. Maybe it doesn't really limit the others, but that was odd. So this is 3, 5, or 7. Oh no, I'm assuming it can't be 4, and that's not necessarily right. In fact, 4 is in one of those two cells. Now I've got 2 4 pencil marks doing double duty. I really ought to sort my life out. 8, 8, that's an 8. and that's the last even digit in box 8. So those are all odd. Now here we've always known we've got 2 and 4 to place, and some odd digits. Okay, this one is 1, 3 or 5. This one is 3, 5 or 7. I'm just ascending in odd digits. That's 5, 7 or 9. Is that giving me anything in this row? Absolutely not. Certainly not. Oh, we've got a 6, 9 there. This is 1, 3 or 5. And that's a triple in the row. So this is 7 or 9. And this is 6, 7 or 9, I'm going to say at this point. Now, that's 7 or 9. Does that... It stops this being a 7? No, it doesn't necessarily. No, it doesn't. 4, 2, 6, 8. I might have to start colouring these odd digits, but I'd like to get a bit further in the puzzle if I can first. It's a really interesting puzzle, actually, the way that it keeps giving you a little bit more every time. I do like puzzles like that. One of these is a 2. Now, we know there's 3 odds on this. I was going to say, where's 9 in this column? But it's still got 2 possibilities. Oh, these are both odd because we've got all the evens in that column. I don't know what that means. We've got 4 odds in this row. If that's even, it's a 4. If that's even, it's a 2. Ah, okay, 4 is in one of those 2 cells, and it's in one of those 2 cells. This is a weird, the technique's sometimes called a skyscraper, I think. Because only one of those can be a 4 in the row, one of these is a 4. And the reason that's interesting is we're only allowed 2 even digits on this thermo. So they are 4 and 8. I don't know where the 4 appears, but I do know this is odd now. There are 4 odd digits on this thermo. So that is 5 or 7, and this is 7 or 9. They must ascend. This one I don't really know about. I mean, I suppose this one is now 3, 4 or 5. If it's odd, it's got to be less than this, 3 or 5. And if it's even, it is the 4. This one is either 1, 3 or 4. This is very odd pencil marking now across parities. And what does that do? 9 is now one of these 2 cells in this box. And one of those 2 there. Oh, so strange. Doctor, my fever might be odd. If that was odd, this would be 3 or... This would be 3 or 5. And that would be the next odd one on the thermo. Ah, one of those is a 4. But I don't know which one. I feel like I'm missing some Sudoku move now that you can probably see and advise me about. Oh no, I'll tell you what I can do. Those don't include 7. So, well, this is a Sudoku move. So 7's in one of those and not in either of these. Now, for that to be a 9, this would have to go 5, 3, 1 now. That would have to be 7, and that would be 9. Okay, for that to be a 5, this has to go 3, 1. So 1 is definitely in one of those 2 cells, and 3 is definitely in one of those. Either way round this digit goes. That must be true. Can I use 1 and 3 being in this column? I don't think I can. Well, it stops this being 1 or 3, so that's 5 or 7. This is 7 or 9, and that's a 7-9 pair in column 8, and this becomes a 5, and that does reveal what's going on this top thermo. 3 and 1 there. This is even. and is 2 because all the even numbers are on its thermo. Still one odd number will appear on that thermo, but 2 there, 2, 1, 3, 8, 6. Oh, I don't know. 2, 1, 3, 5, 8. These are from, these don't include 7. And in fact, that is 4 or 9. This is 4, 6 or 9. Now, the 5 and the 1, 3 pair, are they not doing anything? No, probably not. Bother. If that's odd, it's definitely from 5, 7, 9. If it's even, it has to be a 4. Oh, what 1 and 3 have to be on this thermo, but they don't have to be at its start. However, 1 has to be in one of those cells and 3 has to be in one of those, and that takes 3 out of this cell. It also takes 1 out of this cell, which is an odd digit. Now this one can't be 3 and this one can't be 5. And that's still done nothing for me. Has it? What has that done? If this is odd, it's 1 or 3. It can't be 1. If it's odd, it's 3. And that goes 3, 5, 7. And this would be 2, 4. This puzzle is not shutting itself down at any point, is it? Okay, what about this got reduced to 4 or 5? Is that even interesting? Ooh. Ah, if that was 5, 7, 9, this thermo has to have 3 odd digits on. It could... No, it can't do it. If that was 5, 7, 9, this could have 3 and 1 in this row. But they would... Yeah, if this is 5, 7, 9, how could you make this thermo have 3 odd digits? The only odd digits you'd be allowed to use in this row were 3 and 1, and then you couldn't put 1 here. Wow. So that's not a 5. That's the blue 4. And here we go. Now that's going to... I thought that was going to unpick the blues, or the 4s rather. Yes, this is the only place for 4 on this thermo now. It does. So that's now not a 4. Ah, this is so clever. These have gone both odd at this point. That sees 4, 2, 6 and 8. And on its thermo, we needed 4 odds. So we've got 1 or 3 followed by 3 or 5. That's a 1, 3 pair looking up at this, which is now 5. That has become a 5. And on its thermo, we can then fill in 7, 9. Now, that's not a 9, that is. I thought it placed 9 somewhere else, but maybe I was getting ahead of myself in box 8. Every chance of that. That's a 1 or 3 by Sudoku, and this is therefore, well no, not because of that, but because of this 5. That's become a 7. Right, so the 3 odd digits on this are 1, 3 and 5. 5 can't go there, it can't go before it for thermo reasons, so it goes here. And that has become a 9, and this bottom cell has become a blue 4. Still, I don't know which of those is 2, or which, yeah, no, I don't know which of these is 6, because I still haven't sorted out that pair. 4, 9, 6, 8, 5. Oh, that's a 7 by Sudoku. And these are from 1, 2, 3, but there's a 3 definitely in one of those 2 cells, so that's 1 or 2. This is a 2 if it's from 1, 2, 3, because of the 1, 3 pair in its row, and that's gonna be the last move we actually need, I think, to finish off. I mean, I've said that before and been wrong. So that's a 1 and is orange. That's now where 1 goes in this box. So these are a 3, 2 pair. That's become a 3. That's a 1. That's a 1. Yes, that's on its thermo. So this is 5 or 7. That has to be a 5. So that's 3. Then there's a 7, 9 pair in the column, which aren't resolved yet. But that 3 makes this 5 or 7. Doesn't unwind the 6, 9 at the top. This is such a tricky puzzle all the way through. I can't believe people give this 2 stars. To me, this is comfortably a 3-star puzzle, but you know, your experience may be different. Oh, that's become a 7 by Sudoku. So we've got another 6, 9 pair over this side. Looks like a deadly pattern at the moment, but it won't be for some reason. I don't know what that is yet. 4, 7, 5, 6, 9, 8. That's 1 or 3. This is 1, 2 or 3. I have a feeling that's also... No, this is 2, 3 or 7. Well, it can't be 7 in this position on the odd thermo. So the only place for 7 in the box is there. That makes this a 5. That fixes 5 and 3 in the central box. That makes this a 1. These two are a 3, 5 pair, and we know the order. This is a 3, 9 pair. I think the thermo tells us which one can't be a 9, and it tells us about 7 and 1 there, which is lovely. 7 and 9 there. That's 1, that's 5. 2, 3 pair on a deadly pattern as well. Now I just have to work out what unwinds these deadly patterns. Okay, this thermo needs an odd digit. That's what does it up here. Lovely. Right, let's get the colouring right, because otherwise people will say that I just didn't bother. That's orange. Now this 2, 3 pattern, it's got to be this thermo which needs a further odd digit, and that odd digit is 3, and that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. And those are 2s, and that's the last 3 in the grid, and there we go. Doctor, my fever might very well be odd. Half an hour, beautiful puzzle. Just fun from the start to the finish. What an interesting rule set and use of it. What physicist from Funan has done there, and I applaud this mightily, is not just come up with an interesting rule. He's then worked and worked until he's done something very interesting with the rule and made a puzzle that works really well with that constraint. And that is a great skill. So you're very welcome to the channel, PFF, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.